The most evocative rivalry in British football is about to be settled in a foreign land. The US is where that game between Arsenal and Manchester United is going to take place as we officially launch the preseason tour ahead of the upcoming 2023-2024 season. Now, of course, it is a day that many have been waiting for, not exactly for these two managers to meet, but mostly for one player who has been so important in Manchester United's rebuild. That is Andre Onana. Guess what, guys? Today is debut day for Andre Onana. We'll be talking about that later on, but also we'll get to discuss the few players United is left to sign to tick all boxes that the boss Erik Ten Hag wants to be put right before we kick off the season. Welcome to the hotspot. My name is Webb. What an exciting Saturday. It's a rare Saturday, first of all, to start like this, knowing it's going to end with such a big game happening, because at exactly midnight is when the action will be kicking off. Man United taking on Arsenal. It will be at the MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. Well, it is one game that probably you believe, whereas it's a preseason tour game, there are never friendlies between Man United against Arsenal. There's always going to be a bragging rights to fight for, so we expect a tight competitive game, and that's why we are going to get quickly into the details of how both teams are supposed to prepare for this one and how they could look for them to be giving us an exciting tight game, because we've been craving for such a game for a very long time. But I'll start off with telling you the news coming through, of course, for Manchester United. In terms of the two teams, Man United against Arsenal, both teams have been training, of course, in their preseason. Arsenal won their last preseason game against All Stars of the MLS by 5-0. Even Kai Havertz scored in that one. But if you look at Man United on the other side, whereas we've won both our games against Leeds United and Lyon, in terms of players we've been using, Erik Ten Hag has had mostly second team players. Now, the senior players on the team only returned to training this week, just for a week. They have been training together. So it means in terms of fitness, they are certainly not as fit as the Arsenal players who have been training for a much longer time. So in terms of fitness, I do expect Arsenal's players to be more fit than Manchester United players. In fact, I do expect that some senior players for United could only come in the second half, whereas Arsenal could choose to start with their stronger team. So that is what I expect to see. It doesn't matter, however, this is a game where every player has got to be psyched up, because it's a rivalry, but also it's a big test. And eyes are going to be on them, because the whole world has been waiting for a serious game of football, and certainly this is one of such. Never mind it being dubbed a friendly, a preseason tour game. It's not a friendly. Arsenal against United is never a friendly. Everyone should know. Now, let's get proper into, of course, the Man United team, because the boss spoke in that pre-match press conference that was yesterday, and he was clear. He said that whereas Manchester United is not where they've got to be, we have shown that we can come out there and compete with the best teams in the world, and that's important. This is Erik Ten Hag saying this officially in that pre-match press conference before the game. He's saying that United have clearly got to raise the bar, whereas we performed well. We've got to forget about how we did perform last season, and we raised the bar much higher if we are going to come out there and fit into the expectations of most of the people, because we raise the bar high. We've got to raise it higher if we are going to compete with the best in the world, which is, I think, an important thing. And that is why we are supposed to make changes to our squad, boost it with the new signings like Andre Onana, who is training so well with the team, and we expect that he's going to be making his debut. That will be today in that game. He's been training well with the rest of the lads, and you can see him there training with the goalkeeping coach of Manchester United, looking fit and fresh. There are no concerns for Andre Onana. He's expected to play this one, perhaps not starting, because of course Cover showed that he can play decently well, but also it would be, I think, unfair for Andre Onana to straight away start that game, yet he has only been training for a few days. Well, he could start, but most likely he might be coming on in the second half, in the second 45 minutes of that game. Regardless, I do believe Andre Onana will be making his debut in that game against Arsenal. Now, for Arsenal, they have got some concerns to worry about. Lisandro Trossard, I think is injured. He's got to be rested in this one. He got injured in their first two games that they played as Arsenal in the preseason. I may not really dig so much into Arsenal and how they look. For Manchester United, you feel whereas the senior players are back, some of them might not start. We might see a few of the junior players starting ahead of them. And just to give you my predicted lineup, and of course I will be back here about 11:30. I told you the game kicks off at midnight, but at half to midnight I will be here again with the confirmed lineups, and of course, the moment they come out, actually, I will be here to drop you that video about the confirmed lineups. But if I'm to predict how we might look in this one, cover I think might start later on, and Onana will come on. One Bissaka on the right, Rafael Varane and Martinez looking good in the centre back. On the left, we could have Fernandes, then Maino, Mason Mount, Anthony could be starting again. Donny van der Beek, Ahmad, and Jadon Sancho. Those are the players that I think Man United could start with. But later on, we could be seeing the other senior players are coming through and playing a couple of minutes in that one. The likes of Casemiro and, of course, Andre Onana, who the world wants to see make his debut for Manchester United. Remember, the past 5 meetings between Man United and Arsenal ended in 2 wins for each and a draw. But this being a friendly, you expect that it's going to be more free, more entertaining. I expect both teams to give us an entertaining game. I expect goals in this one. I don't think it's going to be a cagey affair. I feel it won't be the case of Lyon against United. I feel this one will give us more goals, to be honest, because both coaches love to play, expansive football, more entertaining football. I feel like United are going to open themselves up to be able to play freely because we've got ball players in this team. So I think it's going to be an exciting game to watch. And both coaches are certainly players who love enterprising football. And that is why you expect some bit of entertainment later on tonight. We'll be watching that game along together later on. Tonight, like I said, the game kicks off at midnight. And it's obviously a very, very important game. Not because of what comes after whoever wins, but because it is the official start of our preseason tour, but also for the first time we could be seeing and having an idea of how Erik Ten Hag's Manchester United is going to look come the new season. So amazing stuff is bound to happen. Of course, it is sad that we won't have a striker. Rasmus Højlund will not be in this one because we are still yet to get him. Bids are being prepared for him. Of course, we are in a chase against Paris Saint-Germain to try and who signs him first. I think who gets there first. That will be the case we are in. But we expect that United should be able to seal a striker before the start of the season, because that's a very important department, and of course also the holding midfield department with Sofian Amrabat. But looking at who we have now, you feel like we are shaping up. Erik Ten Hag, speaking in his pre-match press conference, made it clear that he believes in the team, the squad he has got. He feels that he has improved the squad. He feels that the players know exactly what is expected of them as we head into the new season. So these pre-season friendlies against Arsenal, against Real Madrid, against Borussia Dortmund are games that are important in making us understand how exactly we're supposed to look and shape up coming into, of course, the new season. Marcus Rashford as well is expected to play in this one. He just signed his contract, 5-year contract, becoming the most paid player at United. He will be, of course, expected to come in, I think, in this game later on, because, again, he returned to training only the other week, only this past week, so he's obviously not going to be a starter, I don't expect. But, like I said, the second 45 minutes of that game for me are the most important ones that we will be focusing on mostly. And we hope that we get a good game and get to entertain the fans who have been craving football for a long time. Forget about these little friendlies that have been going around. I think this is the real deal. It is an evocative derby. It is a huge grudge match settled in a foreign land, and obviously both teams want to fight for the bragging rights, because it is always about the bragging rights between Man United against Arsenal at whichever level they do meet. So that's where we are. That's where we are as Manchester United. Now, still talking Manchester United, of course, there is people who are still hoping that perhaps maybe later on we could get news that Mason Greenwood is joining the team. Erik Ten Hag spoke about him, how Greenwood, being an important player for Manchester United, he would love to see him play with the rest of the lads now. But it is beyond him. Of course, the Glazers are continuing to fetter the boys' future. You feel like it would have been more exciting if Mason Greenwood was part of the fold. If United are playing without a striker, we are yet to have Rasmus Højlund. Imagine how good it would look to have Mason Greenwood playing up front in this one, more so in that second half. So you've got Andre Onana in goal, you've got Lisandro Martinez and Rafael Varane, you've got Wan Bissaka on the right, then Luke Shaw comes in on the left, then you've got Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes, and then and then Mason Mount, and then up front you've got Marcus Rashford, Anthony, and Mason Greenwood probably playing as a false nine, or Marcus Rashford as the false nine, and Mason Greenwood inverted on the left. Then Anthony goes on the right as an inverted winger. I feel like that would be exciting to see. But whereas Mason Greenwood is not there, and let's not cry about things we do not have control over. Let us focus on the areas we've got control over. The battles that are going to be seen more so in the midfield, because Arsenal have got their Thomas Partey in there, his back. They have got obviously their captain Martin Odegaard, he's in there. They have got Declan Rice, they have got Kai Havertz. So you look at the midfield, and again for me this is an area that I've got to focus on as I watch this game. You look at the midfield of Arsenal, because in the second half I expect that Kai Havertz, Declan Rice, and Thomas and the captain Martin Odegaard will be in that midfield. So will be Bruno Fernandes, Mason Mount, and Casemiro. And I want to see those battles, that midfield battle, because it's going to be key in the bigger game, in the bigger grudge between Man United and Arsenal when the season starts. I think it will be important. Who will win that one will depend a lot on how those who wins the battle in the midfield, because you feel like they are both strong midfields. You've got Casemiro shielding the back line that has Rafael Varane and Lisandro Martinez, and then the other end you've got Declan Rice shielding the back line that has got Saliba, William Saliba, and Timber or Gabriel or whoever they choose to go for. Then you've got the captain Odegaard, Martin Odegaard, playing alongside Kai Havertz just up front in the mid three as part of the mid three. Then for Man United, you've got Bruno Fernandes and Mason Mount. You look at the two midfielders, you're thinking these are actually matching midfields, and you're thinking who will win these battles. It's so important in I think our game when we meet Arsenal. Who will win those battles will be so important in who wins the game. So this is a good opportunity for us to have an idea of that, how that will look, and that's why, guys, we've got to watch this game together on that watch along tonight as we do banter about it and talk about it, because it is an exciting day. It's an exciting game, but also it is one game that will make everything, all things we are imagining in our heads make sense. So let's look forward to that one. I can't wait. I do hope everything is right and in place for that time. We only look, of course, to the man above, hoping that we will have life and be ready to get this one as it does come. But guys, that's where we are. Manchester United are looking, of course, like it. They're looking like the finished elements. Of course, not there yet. But Erik Ten Hag has got a plan. He said in his pre-match press conference that we've got to raise the bar. We've proven that we can beat any team in the world, but for us to be there and even get where we want to be, we've got to raise the bar. And that is why he let go of David De Gea, who was perhaps a good goalkeeper, but below his bar. And in Andre Onana, we've got the goalkeeper who Erik Ten Hag believes meets the bar up there where we're supposed to be. Let's wait and see how it will look. My name is Webb. This is the Hot Spot. It is a Saturday morning as we build up to the big one, the evocative grudge match between Man United against Arsenal. I say, guys, continue watching the Hot Spot and all the rest of the other videos. See you later, guys.